I never imagined that at 65, I'd be staring at my retirement statements and feeling a knot in my stomach. For years, I'd tucked away a little here and a little there, thinking that Social Security and my small savings would carry me through. I'd lived simply, cut back on vacations, and skipped new cars in favor of a well-worn sedan. But when I sat down one morning and saw the numbers, I realized I didn't fully understand how to make my money last. I felt a rush of fear. What if my nest egg ran dry? What if I outlived my savings and became a burden to my children? I knew I had to take control. I decided to learn everything I could about investments, pensions, and estate planning. I spent evenings watching webinars, reading guides, and talking with friends who had already walked this path. I made a list of questions. How do I invest safely at my age? When should I claim my pension? What happens to my house if I'm gone? I discovered that the world of finance can feel like a maze, full of jargon and fine print. Yet I also realized that with the right guidance, I could turn that maze into a clear path. Please subscribe and hit the bell so we can continue creating these detailed guides just for you. One of the first real-life stories that inspired me was from my neighbor John, a retired teacher who at 67 had transformed his modest savings into a reliable income stream. He told me he began investing just $200 a month in a low-cost index fund, choosing a broad market fund that tracked the S&P 500. Over 8 years, his contributions and the market's growth turned into a nest egg that now provides him an extra $300 each month. He said the key was consistency and patience. He never panicked during market dips, and he reinvested his dividends. Hearing John's story gave me hope that small, steady investments could make a big difference. I reached out to Sarah Johnson, a certified financial planner with over 20 years of experience working with retirees. She told me that at our stage in life, the most important rule is to balance growth with preservation. You still need some exposure to stocks for growth potential, she said, but you also need bonds or bond funds to dampen the swings. She recommended a simple 60-40, split 60% in diversified stock funds, 40% in bond funds, and rebalancing once a year. She stressed low fees and broad diversification. Avoid fancy products with high commissions. Her advice felt practical and reassuring. I started by moving a portion of my savings into a target date retirement fund, which automatically adjusts the mix of stocks and bonds as I age. It was like having a professional portfolio manager at my side. I set up automatic monthly transfers of $300 from my checking account. At first, I worried about market volatility, but I reminded myself of Sarah's words. Volatility is the price of growth. Over the next few months, I watched my balance grow steadily, even when the market wobbled. I felt empowered, knowing I had a plan. Dear elders, your support means everything to us. We pour our hearts into every video because we respect the wisdom you've earned over decades. Without your subscription, we simply couldn't keep creating these in-depth guides. Please subscribe now and tap the bell so we can continue bringing you the knowledge you deserve. Next, I turned to pension planning. My friend Maria, who retired at 66 after a long career in nursing, shared how she maximized her pension and Social Security benefits. She waited until age 70 to claim Social Security, which boosted her benefit by nearly 30%. Meanwhile, she continued working part-time and funneled her earnings into her pension plan, which allowed her to delay the pension payout until age 67. By staggering her income sources, she created a higher guaranteed monthly income. Maria's story taught me that timing matters. When you claim benefits, can make a huge difference over your lifetime. I spoke with Michael Lee, a pension consultant who works with public sector retirees. He explained that many people claim Social Security too early, not realizing they lock in a lower benefit. Every year you delay up to 70, your benefit grows by about 8%, he said. That's a guaranteed return that beats most investments. He also recommended checking your pension's cost of living adjustment, COLA. Some plans increase with inflation, while others don't. Michael helped me calculate my break-even age when the higher benefit from waiting outweighs the extra years of smaller payments. It turned out to be age 82 for me, so I decided to wait. I created a simple chart to track my benefit growth and my projected expenses. I set reminders to revisit my decision each year in case my health or goals changed. I also enrolled in my employer's retiree health plan, which offers subsidized premiums if you sign up within 6 months of retiring. That small window of time was easy to miss, but Michael's guidance helped me avoid costly mistakes. A few weeks later, I talked to Tom, a 68-year-old engineer who had rolled over his 401k into an IRA when he retired. He told me that he'd made the mistake of leaving his money in his former employer's plan and paying hidden fees. When he moved to an IRA, he found lower-cost funds and more flexible withdrawal options. He also set up a systematic withdrawal plan, taking just enough each month to cover his expenses. That allowed the rest of his portfolio to keep growing tax-deferred. Tom's experience reminded me that where you hold your money matters as much as what you hold. I consulted a tax advisor, Laura Chen, who specializes in retirement tax strategies. She recommended considering Roth conversions, moving money from a traditional IRA into a Roth IRA during years when your taxable income is lower. You pay taxes up front, but your future withdrawals are tax-free. Laura showed me how to calculate the tax hit and plan conversions over several years to avoid jumping into a higher tax bracket. She also advised keeping an eye on required minimum distributions, RMDs, after age 72 and using qualified charitable distributions, QCDs, to satisfy those RMDs if I wanted to support causes I care about. Her strategies felt like a roadmap for reducing taxes and supporting my favorite charities. By combining Sarah's investment plan, Michael's pension timing, and Laura's tax strategies, I built a comprehensive financial roadmap. I set up quarterly reviews with each advisor to track my progress and make adjustments. I felt a sense of calm I hadn't known before, like I finally had a handle on my future. Dear elders, we know how much you value clear, respectful advice. Your subscription tells us you trust our content and want more. Please subscribe and hit the bell so we can continue creating these detailed guides just for you. Then came estate planning. I heard the story of the Wilson family, whose mother passed without a will, leaving her 3 children in a legal tangle over her home and savings. It took months and thousands of dollars to sort out, and the siblings' grief turned into conflict. I didn't want my family to face the same ordeal. I reached out to estate attorney David Ramirez, who advised me to start with a simple will and durable power of attorney. He said wills are the foundation. A will names your executor, directs who gets what, and names a guardian for minor grandchildren if needed. The power of attorney ensures someone you trust can manage your finances if you become unable. David also explained the benefits of a revocable living trust, which can keep assets out of probate, speeding up the transfer, and keeping details private. He walked me through funding the trust, changing titles on my house and accounts. It felt like paperwork, but each form gave me peace of mind. He reminded me to review my documents every 3 to 5 years, or after major life changes. With David's help, I created a clear plan that protects my assets and spares my family stress. I also talked with my neighbor Eleanor, who at 70 purchased a long-term care insurance policy. She told me it was the best decision she ever made. When she needed assistance after a hip replacement, her policy covered in-home care and rehabilitation costs. Without it, she said, her savings would have taken a serious hit. Long-term care specialist Karen O'Neill advised me to shop for a policy before age 70, when premiums are lower and health requirements less strict. She explained hybrid policies that combine life insurance with long-term care benefits. If you don't use the care benefit, your heirs get the death benefit. That flexibility appealed to me. With my will, trust, power of attorney, and long-term care policy in place, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. I knew my wishes would be honored, my family would be protected, and I could focus on enjoying life. Dear elders, your encouragement fuels our channel. Every time you subscribe, you help us reach more people who deserve this guidance. Please subscribe now and tap the bell. Your support makes it all possible. Next, I learned about tax-efficient withdrawal strategies. I met George, a 69-year-old retired accountant, who used a bucket strategy to manage his income. He divided his assets into 3 buckets: cash for the first 3 years of expenses, bonds for years 4 through 7, and equities for growth beyond 7 years. He withdrew from the cash bucket first, then tapped bonds, and left equities untouched to ride market growth. This approach smoothed out market risk and tax impact. George said it gave him confidence to cover his needs without selling stocks during downturns. I spoke with CPA Marcus Nguyen, who recommended using tax loss harvesting in taxable accounts to offset capital gains and reduce taxes. He also suggested gifting up to $17,000 per year per person, now $18,000 under the latest rules, to reduce my taxable estate. Marcus showed me how to document gifts properly and use annual exclusion amounts to support my grandchildren's education tax-free. His practical tips felt like finding hidden pathways to keep more of my money working for me and my family. I set up a simple spreadsheet to track my buckets, RMDs, and tax lots. I scheduled annual meetings with Marcus to review my tax picture and adjust my strategy. Each spring, I felt a sense of relief, knowing I wasn't missing opportunities to save on taxes. Dear elders, we pour respect and gratitude into every story we share because we honor your life experience. Your subscription is the heartbeat of our channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell so we can continue this journey together. Finally, I discovered the power of regular reviews and community support. I joined a local retiree finance club where we meet monthly to discuss market trends, tax law changes, and personal strategies. Hearing others' experiences, like how Betty at 72 switched to a lower fee fund that saved her thousands in expenses, gave me fresh ideas. I realized I wasn't alone and that ongoing learning is key. I also committed to reviewing my entire plan each year: investments, pension claims, estate documents, and insurance policies. I set calendar reminders and invited my daughter to join the meeting so she knows our plan and can step in if needed. Transparency brought us closer and gave me confidence that my legacy will be honored. Looking back, I feel a profound sense of security and gratitude. At 65, I unlocked financial freedom not through magic, but through stories, expert advice, and consistent action. I transformed fear into empowerment, confusion into clarity, and uncertainty into peace of mind. Dear elders, thank you for letting us share these stories and strategies with you. If you found this guide helpful, please like, share, and subscribe so we can keep bringing you the clear, respectful advice you deserve. Your support means more than words can say. It makes this channel possible.